Hi there, I'm back from a long break, and in this video I just wanted to chat about something I've been thinking about since I started redoing some things on Barren, and that is the direction I want to take it. So let's have a chat about that, and what I think is one of my favorite things in media, and that is when two things meet. So let's chat. I've been thinking about this a lot. You obviously have a lot of post-apocalyptic things that take parts of sci-fi, and that's basically just normal at this point. You've got things like Mad Max, who kind of explores that a little bit, not a lot. Fallout definitely has a hell of a lot of sci-fi things that it takes from films, if you've ever watched a lot of films from when sci-fi first started off. But I do think there's this gap, and it's kind of addressed in Stalker, but it always cuts off, and I hate it. And that is dark fantasy. I am a huge Dark Souls fan. I think most people that make art, I think millions of people that make art have probably been inspired by those games. And I love Fallout. And I absolutely love Stalker. So I thought about it, and I thought, what about a scale where post-apocalyptic is on one end and dark fantasy is on the other end? Where would games go, and where would Barren fit, and where do I want it to go? So let's start that off. Obviously the scale is just my opinion, but it's, based on me playing all these games. And Fallout I think has always kind of been close to true. That now when I say post-apocalyptic, Fallout isn't the most real post-apocalyptic game. That's not what that means to me. I mean, how many dark fantasy elements are on it or in the game? There's some here and there. There's hints of magic. There's hints of talking about weird concepts. But overall, the game is focused on people and their story. The only thing that kind of explores the idea of, corruption and strange, I guess, dark fantasy inspired elements would be Vault-Tec and radiation. But I wouldn't really count that, because most of the time the answer is simply, yeah, they became that because of radiation, which is interesting. And it's kind of what I was doing with Barren for a long time, but I think I want to explore maybe going a bit further and leaving things mysterious. I like Fallout, but I'm just saying on this scale, it is definitely the least inspired by dark fantasy. Stalker. Now, Stalker, if you've ever read the book, Roadside Picnic, it's not really that much of a book, as it's kind of an exploration of concepts. And in that book, there's a lot of weird things that are really funny things, interesting moments. But, same as in the game, there kind of comes this point, especially in the games, where every time, you meet these guys you meet these guys over and over, and they keep saying the same thing. Stalker, come in, don't just stand there, come in. Stalker, the zone is gonna make you go crazy. People lose their minds. But then when you actually go there, it's just basically any one of those videos you see of people exploring abandoned Russia, or previously owned Russian states, I guess. It's cool, but I want it to be more crazy. I always have this picture in my head, this image of just like we're going to see something we weren't expecting, something unique, something interesting. And it just sadly doesn't happen in many of the games. There are a few cool moments where you meet these things and you think, this is amazing. Like I don't want to actually do any spoilers, but the brain weirdos, if you know what I'm talking about, the brain weirdos. And the ending of the first game is very strange, but I like it. But I want to go further. And another game that definitely comes up, that maybe some people wouldn't think of as a post-apocalyptic game, but one I definitely would put in there, is Dishonored. Now I would say Dishonored kind of sits perfectly over the line. It's definitely not more post-apocalyptic than it is dark fantasy. It's got interesting concepts. It explores magic. It's really interesting, and it has a style. It has a style that's a game that knows what it wants to be, and that's thanks to the absolutely brilliant artwork in it, done by a guy that I don't remember the name of right now, so I'll just put it on the screen. It's out there. It's not traditional. I like it. It's such a good game, by the way, as well. But other than that, it's just so interesting to look at, and it's not afraid of having you not know the answers. There's so many weird things in it that are just interesting that you just kind of accept. The weird robots, the whalers, the interesting, I think, magical sea life. Yeah, there's loads of interesting things in it. And it's definitely a game that I think is kind of apocalyptic, but it's going all that way to just be a little bit more, boom. And where obviously last but not least, which some people wouldn't say is post-apocalyptic, but I'll put it on the list, is Dark Souls. This is the king of dark fantasy. There's no telling what comes next. And as someone who played this game, it was the first game I ever owned. And second was Fallout New Vegas. I played both blind because I didn't really understand the internet. I just moved abroad, and yeah, it's probably my favorite gaming experience I've ever had. I had no clue what was coming. Everything was so interesting. I always remember this part, and I can't remember what it's called, but there's this part where you're in this college area and you're fighting these shard guys. And I kept thinking, oh, why are they like that? Why are you fighting these gem guys? And then next thing I know, you go down like this elevator or like corridor, and you're in this huge gem valley. And I just always remember how much that game swerved and made me go, wow. And every single game since that one, apart from Dark Souls 2, has done that for me. Brilliant. And I want to know where on this scale I want to put Barren. Because right now I would say Barren is probably... Hold on, let me just excuse the noise. Right now I'd probably say, if I'm being honest, Barren is kind of... Sorry, I hate that new feature. Barren's probably about here. Maybe about here. Yeah, it's probably about there. Maybe it's even might even be closer, to be honest, to the edge. And I want that to move. So I'm gonna just do that because I like when this project is challenging, and I want the game to stand out. The reality is, I haven't even put Metro on here, but obviously Metro I think would be sitting right in the middle of all of these. Yeah, the reality is I want it to stand out more. And to do that, I want to explore and do concepts that maybe don't lean so heavily to realism, because I kind of find that more interesting. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to just throw magic into Barren, because I kind of hate when magic is just forced into a game. But maybe ideas that are a bit out there, areas that are so interesting and strange that you wouldn't think it's Earth. Also while having this feeling and these characters that are realistic in the way they come across, just like Dark Souls does brilliantly, making you believe that this world is full of characters that are detailed and have these interesting stories, even though you never stop and you go, was there just a dragon that had a giant chest hole? I mean, this game's goofy, but you never do that because it's a great game. So I think I'm wanting to move that up. And I'm thinking I kind of want Barren to sit right about there. I don't know if that's where it'll end up. But if Barren right now is here, I'm thinking I want it over there. And that doesn't mean I'm going to make it so crazy and I'm going to get rid of all the things that I've already made, but I'm kind of bored of Barren just being you know, this, it's, you know, it's kind of like Fallout meets the UK. I want it to be something more. And it means, for me personally as an artist, being honest with you guys and being honest with people that have taken interest in it, and the people that message me, and I appreciate it, that say they love it, you know, they hope I come back. Yeah, for those people to say, I'm thinking I'm gonna adjust a lot of things and add a new layer to it. And I kind of wanted to do that with the fear zones. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call them yet. Any suggestions is fine with me. But that was kind of the idea behind the fear, which a lot of people. Maybe I need to change the name, but it's spelt like this. But some people don't know how to read it, which is fair enough. It's it's FYR. I think it means something in Danish or something. I can't remember exactly where I got the idea, but I'll find that. But yeah, the fear. The idea was, it's what I want I wanted in Stalker. You know, this game is brilliant. Stalker is this brilliant game. Probably out of all of these, it's my favorite feeling. Out of all of those, the atmosphere. But then the one that is the most interesting is obviously by a fucking country mile, Dark Souls. It's, brilliant game. I want Barren to have that feeling of when you play it. You're almost sitting there playing it and you're thinking, what? You know. What? That's insane, or that's really interesting. I want that to happen a lot, and for that to happen, I'm thinking, let's just change some things and not be so worried about it, because at the end of the day, all Barren is currently is a bunch of art. So that's what I've been thinking. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the art in the background and some of the cuts in between all this. I wanted this video to feel formal, but not planned or scripted, so I just kind of recorded. I'm gonna be back, and I want to say a huge thank you in a weird way. I'm not sure he'll ever see this, but I want to say a huge thank you to Monster Garden. I kind of gave up on the whole trying to grow my art thing, because I was fine with that. I love art, and I kind of had this weird moment where I was like, I think being able to do this, YouTube, is kind of gone, because of the way YouTube is now, which I've got to be honest, I hate. Like Mr. Beast and all these YouTubers that are just like, I don't know, spam so much noise. So thank you, Monster Garden, for inspiring another artist to maybe give this another go. And if you are interested in that and art, I hope you come along for the ride. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.